Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to the Alpha Stream. Tonight we are going to continue on with Dr. Brain's Brainwaves, which some of you puzzlers out there may recognize as a logic grid. My previous guest who was doing this with me, due to heavy time constraints, will not be rejoining us for this series. So taking her place, Chibi Sprite is here.
Yo.
So I ran her through the first 4 puzzles, which I documented on the first Dr. Brain episode. And from here, we are going to continue on with number 5 and just keep on rolling from there.
See, logic puzzles are my favorite, so if I zoom through this, I am so sorry.
That's
kind
fine.
of, maybe.
That's fine. I'm also writing out a document, but I will probably wait to write out said document in full until after we finish recording here so that we can kind of snap it up and I can just do that on my own time. So
I will be honest, I am keeping a notepad handy because it's easier for me if I make notes to myself to see than to try to keep it all in my head.
Well, good enough. And there are points too where like in the previous puzzle, we had the ages to consider as well as the allowances. That kind of thing, notes would become necessary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so shall we, Chibi?
Yep.
Very good. So again, the big brain will tell us the premise of the puzzle, which this time is...
While watching TV, Lynette, Myra, Noah, and Orson each prefers one of 4 snack foods: grapes, popcorn, raisins, or soda crackers. Figure out each one's favorites.
So in order to do this, we need information. And that information comes from the brains in these cryotubes back here. So we'll start out with...
When both foods are ready to eat, a bag of Lynette's favorite weighs less than a bag, same size, of Orson's favorite.
When both foods are ready to eat.
Right, when both foods are ready to eat.
And who...
A bag of Lynette's favorite.
Lynette's favorite. So Lynette does not like grapes, does not like crackers.
You suspect?
Because popcorn and raisins both take time. I'm gonna knock out soda crackers because I'm thinking that they're from a box and not homemade.
Okay.
Orson is also the same thing. Oh, wait, hold on.
A bag of Lynette's favorite weighs less than a bag, same size, of Orson's favorite.
Okay, so no, it just knocks out something for Lynette. Next clue.
Okay.
Myra does not care for grapes.
Well, that was kind of easy.
Now, this is me being completely over the top anal, but...
You gonna knock out raisins too?
No, but something I am keeping in the back of my head, like, keeps screaming at me that raisins are just dried fucking grapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
As tempted as I am, I'm not gonna do it. Yet. So...
Yeah, I want to hear the third clue first.
Yeah.
Neither Lynette nor Orson prefers a fruit.
Neither Lynette nor Orson prefers a fruit. Grapes and raisins are both conclusively fruits, yes?
Yes.
So neither Lynette nor Orson prefers a fruit. And I gotta think back to...
When both foods are ready to eat, a bag of Lynette's favorite weighs less than a bag, same size, of Orson's favorite.
I'd say popcorn is conclusively lighter than pretty much anything else.
Yep.
So Lynette obviously...
Noah's the only one that can have grapes, soda crackers, which leaves Myra with raisins.
Yeah, you see? There's a fallacy here.
Myra does not care for grapes.
Listen, people, raisins are fucking grapes. If you don't believe me, take a look, take a taste, tell me you don't fucking taste grape essence in raisins. Alright? And yet, by the game's definition, that would have left us with an impossible block for Myra. Illogical bitch.
You must be growing in addition to your prefrontal lobe. Is your forehead feeling tight? Let's conquer this conundrum.
Let's.
Irina, Jean-Paul, Kirsty, and Lloyd are members of 4 different teams. Bobcats, Cougars, Panthers, and Tigers. Find out who belongs to each team.
Okay.
Okay.
The tiger is the cougar's brother.
The tiger is the cougar's brother, which insinuates to me that the tiger has penis.
Yes, so the tiger is not Irina and not Kirsty.
You saying Irina and Kirsty don't have penis?
Next clue, please.
The cougar says her team is better than any 2 others combined.
Well, that
The
also tells
cougar
us that
is
the cougar
either-
has vagina.
So Jean-Paul and Lloyd cannot be the cougar.
You mean Jean-Paul and Lloyd don't have vagina?
Alpha,
Yes.
you're trying so hard. It's not working.
I'm not trying anything. I'm just stating a fact. Guys have penis, women have vagina. What do you want from me?
The next clue.
Okay.
Lloyd and Irina are, in some order, members of the Bobcats and the Tigers.
Well, Irina can't be a tiger. We already established that,
So
did
she's
we
the
not?
bobcat.
Yep. Irina's got to be the bobcat. Lloyd's got to be the tiger. Which means Kirsty is Lloyd's sister and the cougar. And Jean-Paul,
Paul.
is the panther. Can we be satisfied with this little diamond
Yes.
of information?
I'm getting all tingly watching you solve these puzzles. Let's conquer this conundrum.
Oh boy.
How many followers do you think I've lost up to this point?
Edward,
I mean, it's not too
Manchester,
bad. I like these.
Gretel, and Hobart each learned how to repair something by taking a special class. Show who took which class.
I'm not referring to the content of the stream. I'm referring to the content of the stream. But anyway.
Edward does not know how to repair ovens.
Okay.
I mean, simple.
The classes taught repairs to computers, lawnmowers, ovens, and TV.
That was a
Yeah,
pointless
no
clue.
shit, Sherlock. That's why we're here.
So that was a throw.
Stupid, irreverent bitch. We know that.
I told you, I will fly through these. I love these things.
The items Edward learned to repair never show pictures when they are running properly.
When they're running properly?
He said the items Edward learned to repair never show pictures when they're running properly.
That must be lawnmowers.
Okay. I will conclusively agree that TVs...
It's not TV.
I will include... Yeah, that we can agree on. But computers do not... Well, back then, at least, did not show pictures. Monitors did. And this was long before the concept of all-in-ones. I'll just shut up
Okay.
now.
Okay, but my logic is that when running properly,
Yeah, but computers, when running properly, generally don't show pictures. Monitors do that. I'm obviously
Hold on a
being a
sec.
facetious ass, and the answer's
Yeah, you are.
lawnmowers. The answer's lawnmowers. We all know that now.
Gretel cannot repair computers.
Well, then Gretel needs to get with the times, doesn't she?
Francesca's classes did not repair ovens or computers.
This has
so
all
she
been
repaired TVs.
this has all been incredibly straightforward.
Yep.
Surprising considering the number of clues available here.
And we did one of these where I only mocked out 3 things, and then I got the rest of the cube, square, whatever.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks.
Oh, look at you! Will you just look at you? Well done!
Yeah, I know.
Are you mentally prepared to meet this challenge?
I'm a genius.
How many of these do we have?
I think the grand total is somewhere between 25 and 30.
Woo!
That's for novice. If we move on to expert, it'll be longer than that.
Yeah, we'll knock out novice.
Yeah.
4 messages were left on the Calvert's telephone answering machine yesterday afternoon. Sort out what time each person called.
And only 2 clues?
Okay.
We seem to have a feast or famine thing going on right now.
Maxine, who was not the last caller, called sometime after Pierre.
So Maxine, who was not the last caller, therefore not 4:30.
And she could not be 1 o'clock because she called after Pierre.
Oh. Okay. Called sometime after Pierre.
Yep,
who could not
Pierre
have called
has
4:30 either.
Or 3.
Yes, true, because somebody else is already locked up 4:30.
And he could not have called at... So that's right.
So if Maxine called at 2:30, we know for sure Pierre called at 1. 3 o'clock, it's still in the air.
Yep, so that's great.
Otto called before Natalie and at least an hour before someone else.
Otto called before Natalie, which means he couldn't have been last. And Natalie couldn't have been first, but we know what Natalie was by now.
Yep.
And at least an hour before someone else, meaning he could not be the second to last caller either.
Yep.
Maxine had to have called at 3. Let's think about this again.
An hour before someone else. Otto called at 1. Pierre called at 2:30.
You think so?
Well, you're all puffed up like a peacock on parade. Good job.
There you go.
Well, you'll have to flex those mental muscles to begin this puzzle.
Yep. For those of you who were lost on that last step, an hour before someone else became very important with 2:30 and 3 o'clock, which does not cover 1 hour. That's how Chibi determined that Otto made the call at 1 o'clock, because 2:30 would not have satisfied the second condition.
Sure, let's go with that.
Or is that how I did it and you just made a lucky guess?
That's the only thing that worked in my head, because it said at least an hour before someone else. It doesn't necessarily said... Wait, it was 1 and then 2:30?
1, 2:30, 3,
Okay.
4:30.
Then yeah.
That's why 2:30.
Sorry, I thought it said 1:30.
Yeah, that's why 2:30 and 3 couldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
4 stores are in a row. Facing them and starting from the left, we'll call them stores number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Reason out which kind of store each one is. Don't assume store number 1 was the first one a shopper came to, unless you're told that's how it was.
Tron, hey friend.
Hello.
Alright, so what do we have here?
The store that sells sausage has a higher number than the one that sells nails.
Okay.
The sausage is obviously meat market.
Has a higher number than nails, so...
So meat market couldn't have been 1. And hardware
Meat market could be 1. Has a higher number. So meat market cannot... You have it reversed. Hardware cannot be 1. Meat market cannot be 4.
Are you sure? Sausage higher than nails? If sausage is higher than anything, how can meat market be 1?
These are stores from left to right, 1 being left.
Yes. And it directly referenced higher number.
The store store that sells sausage has a higher number than the one that sells nails.
Which would put the hardware store lower than the meat market.
See, this is why I hate these stupid things. Okay, well, say they're unit numbers.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Tron.
No problem.
Okay, so yeah, so meat market would be a higher number than the hardware store. Moving on.
Miss Balfour bought apples at one store and then went to the hardware store 2 doors away.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to spell that name in my document. Miss Balfour? Is that what you said? So she bought apples.
BALDURF.
You heard a D?
Miss Balfour bought apples at one store
Balfour.
and
Balfour.
then went to the hardware store 2 doors away.
Okay, so Balfour bought apples at one store. That's fruit and veg. And then went to the hardware store 2 doors
Fruit and
away.
veg is 3, hardware is 1. That's the only way to get it 2 doors away. Because hardware cannot be 4.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that one. Because agreed that hardware
I
store
forgot
can't
3
be.
was still in play.
Yeah, hardware store can't be 4, so fruits and veg can't be 2. We know that much. 1 and 3 in either direction is still available, and 2 and 4 the other way still works for now. All right, so
Mr. Kemp came to the stores from the left end. He passed at least one and bought some aspirin. Then he backtracked to buy some chicken.
okay, so he came to the stores from the left end. He passed at least one to buy some aspirin, so the pharmacy could not be number 1.
Yeah.
But then if he had to backtrack to find some chicken, it can't be number 2 either, because we know the meat market is number 1, or is not number 1. So he could have backtracked from 3 to 2, from 4 to 2, or from 4 to 3. So we also know the meat market was not the last store in the order either. Here's where things get interesting. Remember the relationship between the hardware store and the fruits and veggie store, 2 doors apart.
Yep.
There's only one relationship between the meat market and the pharmacy where that can still work.
Fruit and veg is 3, hardware is...
Hardware is what?
Sorry, hardware is 1, meat market's 3, meat market's 2, which pharmacy is 4.
What
Exactly.
fulfillment you must feel. This problem is no problem.
See, that's where the subclues become so important. That's how you figure out between the lines what the rest of the information is. So what do we have here with these very similar
It's either siblings.
what's the word? Alliterative, that's the word. Alliterative names.
No, it's probably
Pairs of
siblings then.
twins, each pair with 1 male and 1 female, are enrolled at Nebraska University of Science and Technology. Identify each pair of twins.
Oh, interesting.
I bet that twins do not necessarily have the same letter. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a logic grid of it.
It's possible until somebody says otherwise.
No pair of twins have names beginning with the same letter.
Well, there you go. They said otherwise. So guess what? Down the line.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
That's usually the first one every time.
Makes perfect sense, right? I'd expect to see that when I'm playing a grid book.
Conrad and his sister have blonde hair.
Annoying little bitch, isn't she?
We have
And
to
she doesn't
find out
even-
who has blonde hair.
And she don't even sing all that well. So Conrad and his sister have blonde hair. And again, this is what I mentioned about subclues. They're not on the grid, but keep them in the back of your head because you're going to need them later. You have that in your notebook?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on.
Bettina is a redhead.
Which tells us that she could not be Conrad's sister. Because of what we just heard.
Not B, A, and D are left.
Yep, Amy or Dolores.
Dolores, a dark-haired beauty, is not the sister of Bruce.
So Dolores has dark hair, which blonde would obviously not fall under. So first
And
of all, Amy must be Conrad's.
Yep.
And he also said that Dolores was not the sister of Bruce. Which means Bruce
that
and
she's-
Carla must be a pair.
Yep. Dolores is,
Dolores
Arthur's.
and Arthur. Drake and Bettina.
You are some kind of puzzle-solving fool.
Yeah!
Let's conquer this conundrum.
Okay. What do we have here?
Figure out how each family pays its monthly electric bill. One family takes cash to the electric company. Another family mails a check, while another mails a money order. The fourth family has funds transferred by computer from its bank to the electric company.
That back then must have seemed so futuristic, but nowadays it's completely commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's begin.
The grants pay either by cash or by computer transfer.
sweet!
Okay, cool. So they don't mail the check
Or a money
or
order.
the money order.
The Bakers do not have a bank account.
That to me would mean that they couldn't do checks.
They cannot do computer transfers.
Right. I don't think a bank account is required to do a money order. I've never done one, so I
We'll leave it open for now. Typically, though, you usually want a bank account, but you can do money orders without it.
Okay. I've never done
So
it myself, so I have no
we'll
idea.
leave it open.
Just in case somebody else says something that actually affects that.
Yeah.
Alright, good enough.
The Arbors do not mail their payment.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the same as the grants, isn't it?
Yep.
So the farmers mail the check. And the bakers are the only ones that could do the money order,
Money
so
order.
it was wise keeping that open.
And that's the reason why.
Yeah, and same deal with the grapes and the
Because
fucking
it-
raisins.
Like I said, it could go either way, so that's one I would leave open.
Raisins or grapes, damn it.
The Arbors do not pay by cash.
Well, that settles
They
that
paid.
one.
They
Arbors
paid.
pay the computer transfer, and the grants with cold, hard green.
A job well done is its own reward. Well, you'll have to flex those mental muscles to begin this puzzle.
Oh boy. I mean, it was pretty straight the last time, so who's to say?
I love how the WH, 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 and then yellow.
Well, yellow.
The telephone company for the Detroit area publishes several telephone books. Among these are white pages books called Metropolitan Detroit Area, East Area, and North
Okay,
Woodward
white pages
area.
versus
These
just
same
yellow pages.
titles are also used for yellow pages books, published separately. Each of 4 families was issued one of the 6 directories. Decide who got which.
One of these 6 directories. But 4. We don't even know. We don't know what the Yellow Pages book, which area it attaches to. I can only hope
Correct.
that one of the clues actually gives us that one.
What it is it's Detroit, East, and Woodward. They all have
They
white
all have
pages.
white pages issues.
They
Yeah, we see that.
also have yellow pages as well.
What, did one family get all 3 Yellow Pages books? Because they're all
No,
separate
they're not
publications.
telling. They're not telling us which yellow page it is. Which family got yellow pages.
Well, that's great.
Like what section they're in.
Oh, joy. All right, then. Let's go.
The Lemieux family didn't get a North Woodward area directory.
So we know they didn't get that.
Yep.
The books received by the King family and the Mansard family were for the same area.
Okay.
All right, so either King or Mansard got the yellow pages.
Yellow pages, yes.
Right, so Lemieux
That's
couldn't have, Jones couldn't have, and if we figure out if one of them got the white pages directory, the other one must have gotten the yellow.
Yes.
All right.
The Yellow Pages book wasn't issued for the East area or the North Woodward area.
So
He didn't say that. He didn't say that too clearly. He said wasn't, not was and. Just for those who think they weren't sure what they heard. So it was not issued for the East area or the North Woodward area, which means the yellow book in question is attached to Metropolitan Detroit.
So Kings do not get. Yep.
Kings don't get East or Woodward, and neither do the Mansards.
Conversely, we know that Jones and Lemieux do not get Detroit.
We don't necessarily need that at this point because we know what each of them does get. Jones got Woodward. Lemieux got East. So the only question now is who got the Detroit yellow?
Mr. King is unhappy because he didn't receive a Yellow Pages directory.
All right, so that settles it without even having to listen to the fifth clue. So
Which is probably going to be a throw.
Yeah, I won't throw my headset this time if that's what happens. Only because we have the solution, but I do want to hear this.
3 of the families were issued white pages. No 2 families got the same book.
We knew that, but thanks
Yep.
anyway. So, here's our answer.
You are some kind of puzzle-solving fool. This problem is no problem.
No problem, eh? Okay.
4 people each bought different numbers of shares of the same stock. Work out how many shares each person bought.
Okay.
All right. And only 2 clues, so again, feast famine here.
Opal bought 200 fewer shares than Pedro.
So again, numbers are extremely important, just as they were during the voicemail puzzle.
Okay.
Opal bought 200 fewer shares than Pedro. So first, let's think
Opal
about it.
could not buy 300 or 600. Pedro had to have bought 6, 4, or 2, so he could not have. 6 or 4, so he could not do 3 or 2.
So for those lost, the logic behind that is thinking about the relationships that Opal and Pedro could have. It could be that Opal bought 4 and Pedro bought 6, and it could be that Opal bought 2 and Pedro bought 4, which eliminates the other relationships that do not have a 200 difference relationship.
I told you that I rushed through these. I'm good.
Well, it's not you that I'm explaining it to. I'm explaining it to my viewers who may not be as good at this as we are.
I know. That's the reason why I am just explaining why you have to explain it.
Okay. Next clue.
Mark bought twice as many shares as Natalie.
Mark bought twice as many shares as Natalie. So
Mark bought 600 or 400. Natalie bought 300 or 200.
yeah, so wait.
Yep.
Mark bought twice as
Yeah,
many
okay.
shares as Natalie.
Why'd you knock down 6?
Because I'm an idiot. Mark bought twice as many shares as Natalie.
Natalie could still do 200. She couldn't do 4 or 6.
See, now I'm getting confused. Thanks. Okay, so
Opal
again,
bought
this is a relationship thing, just to catch everybody back up. If Mark bought twice as many as Natalie, Mark could have bought 4 while Natalie bought 2, or Mark could have bought 6 while Natalie bought 3. even without looking into cross relationships here, we can see that the only 300 left is Natalie. So starting from there, we know that Mark bought 6.
Opal bought 2. Pedro bought 4.
Yep. That's all that could be. Hope everybody was able to somewhat keep up with that. Or if not, it'll be on video. Just replay it again and again and again till you finally get it.
I'm getting all tingly watching you solve these puzzles. Are you mentally prepared to meet this challenge?
Would you like to would you like to maintain the same contingency as you did with the twins?
I would.
Well, we can't do that yet.
In the city of Big Town, 2 officers are always assigned to police patrol cars. Show who the 4 pairs of partners are.
No pair of partners have names beginning with the same letter.
Okay, so first of all, our proposed theory that that's the first clue every time we have something like this has come through again. But second of all, when the hell did you become the singer?
I have no idea. Next.
Yeah.
Bruna no longer has Carlton as a partner.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're broken up.
Amherst and Craig are partners.
Oh,
that's nice.
they actually handed us one. Alright then.
Which
Thank
means
you.
Bruner and Dabner.
They have to be. We still don't know about the others, and I'm going to assume that you're going to settle that for us.
Carlton and Alder are not partners.
Yeah, pretty much. So Barker and Alder, Carlton and Dubois. Or
It's Dubois.
Dubois. Du
Pretty
boys? Are you insinuating we should do boys?
Dubois.
Oh my gosh, you are so good at this.
We know.
I'm excited to watch you play this puzzle. Are you going to start now?
Yes.
Yeah.
4 family members went to an amusement park. Find out who liked each ride the best.
Well, incidentally, which one's your favorite?
Out of only these choices,
Yeah, out of these 4.
it'd either be bumper cars or roller coaster.
I like them all. I like the roller coaster for extreme thrill. I like the Ferris wheel for calm and collected views. I like the merry-go-round if I just don't want to think. And I like the bumper cars to hash out some violent tendencies.
Whee!
The bumper cars fan was younger than the person whose favorite was the merry-go-round.
Okay.
That gets extremely hairy because it would be so easy to split them by pairs, father and mother, daughter and son. But who's older between each of those 2 pairs? So this is where I really don't want to make any immediate proceed with that clue.
Okay. Next clue.
Yeah.
The favorite rides for the males both went higher than the females' favorite rides.
I think that
Okay.
actually helps with that first clue as well. So the women like to stick to the ground, which means they would not like the Ferris wheel or the roller
Or the
coaster.
roller coaster.
Conversely, conversely, the men would not like the merry-go-round or the bumper cars. So this having been said, the first clue said what again?
The bumper cars fan was younger than the person whose favorite was the merry-go-round.
So the bumper cars would be the daughter,
Mhm.
while the merry-go-round would be Mommy Dearest.
The person who favored the roller coaster was younger than the merry-go-round fan.
The son.
At least one of the other 2.
At least one of the other 2, yeah. So there's only 2 left anyway, so the son obviously likes the roller coaster. The father cannot possibly be the youngest of the crew.
Wow,
Between
that's
them-
unusual.
That's pretty. I think I'm going to have to screenshot that pretty little design. Just a second here, folks.
That's a highly unusual.
It's pretty.
That's all you care about.
Hold on, that for some reason screenshot did not take.
No, I think you just screenshotted Skype.
That's possible. I don't know. Anyway, it works. So I'm going to deal with that one at a later time. Right now we still have business to attend to. See if there's anybody else in here. Nope, I only see Tron. Alright, on we go.
A job well done is its own reward. Are you mentally prepared to meet this challenge? 2 girls and 2 boys gave birthday gifts to their friend Zachariah. Decide what was given by each friend.
I stopped at 2 boys and 2 girls gave birth.
Okay, I do have to ask though, that first name, Hosea?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, we know Ruth is a girl. We know Timothy is a guy.
Hosea is probably a boy and Young Tin is probably a girl, but we're gonna wait.
You thinking? So you're thinking Hoser is a guy?
Well, we'll find out.
Ruth did not give Zachariah a jigsaw puzzle or stamp album.
Well, that's nice.
Yes.
The 1,500-piece jigsaw puzzle was given by a girl.
So, are we going
It's not
to...
Timothy.
Yeah, I don't think Timothy has vag. So, do we want to stick with your theory that Hoser is a guy and Young Tin is a girl?
I keep on saying Hosea because I see Hosea.
No, it is Hosea. I'm being a facetious ass and saying Hoser.
You're doing that a lot lately.
It's my show. What do you expect from me? Come on now. You've been here.
Next clue.
You've been here enough, haven't you?
Hosea did not give his friend a baseball cap or an album to hold his stamp collection.
Hosea and his friend were in the same sentence there.
Yep.
Which, let's revisit this clue. Yeah, so you were right. Let's revisit this clue just to be sure of what we're doing.
The 1,500-piece jigsaw puzzle was given by a girl.
Meaning it wasn't Hosea. Would have to be Young Tin. And say that again, number 3.
Hosea did not give his friend a baseball cap or an album to hold his stamp collection.
He gave the
That settles it. Yeah, that settles it. Timothy gave the album. Hosea gave the plain kit. Ruth gave the cap.
Oh, that's a nice design too.
So basically Ruth gave Zachariah head. Where?
Jeez.
Get it? Headwear?
The puns, they're amazing tonight.
Let's just move on.
Astronomically astounding and astonishing. I'm excited to watch you play this puzzle. Are you going to start now?
What do we got?
For the next Olympics, the swimsuits for 4 countries are to be in 4 background colors, each with a design of a different color. Match background color with its design.
Talk about flashy possibilities here. Now the question is, how many of these do you think are going to clash?
All of them.
You think all 4?
Yeah.
See, I'd make a bet about that, except I agree with you, which means there can't be a bet. None of these are going to look good. Well, let's set about seeing exactly what these are.
But a green suit does not have a yellow design.
Now, they say
Okay.
a yellow design. My question falls to gold. But
I think it would say gold, so I would leave it open.
and twice now I've had that dilemma in my head as we've gone through this, and both times eliminating that possibility would have proven dead wrong. So I'm going to continue with that and leave the gold stars open for green. Even though I really think that gold and yellow fall under one category of color. That's what we're on.
The red suit's design is not orange or purple. Yeah.
Oh, good. You're finally singing in a different fucking key.
So red is not orange or purple.
Right?
Next.
The blue suit has no purple on it.
Okay.
Alright.
They're giving us all simplistics.
Yeah.
This had better be some kind of profound wisdom from ancient times.
The green suit does not have a design of either a stripe or a zigzag.
Aha! So yet again, would have been an impossible block. Lesson
Like
to
I
be learned.
said.
Lesson to be learned here, kids. You can't make assumptions. So, red and yellow, white and purple, blue and orange. You know what? I actually have to digress. Blue and orange is not a bad combination.
No, because they're complementary.
They're complementary colors, yes, and those are also the colors of the United States Coast Guard. Those of you who haven't watched previous streams, that's my father's branch of the military. So I have an affinity for those colors myself.
I did that in an art project. It was to do 2 different shades and how to mix them together.
Mm-hmm.
I did a color palette or whatever thing.
Mm-hmm. Red and yellow, I really don't.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not the best combination, but it's not bad.
Not for clothing. It works for flags. I mean, a couple flags have that color scheme. White and purple, that is heavy contrast. Green and gold, I have to say no. So they're not all bad like we were thinking, but there's certainly some questionable designs here that I'm sure will dock Olympic points just because the judges' eyes were burning too much to see anything else. Anyway.
You are sending shivers up my spine with your mastery of this game.
What's funny is I would have said that red would either have been a yellow or white, yellow design because that's the only thing logically that worked in my head. But that's me personally.
Is that because you see it on flags?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So what do we got?
The 4 Standish children had birthdays within a month of each other. Pair up their names and ages.
Standish?
Names and ages.
Yeah, because you guys totally weren't teased as kids, were you?
That's a big age gap between the youngest and the oldest, though.
And every 6 years, essentially? Talk about clockwork.
You're a pervert.
Is older than sapphire.
And because you were insulting me, I didn't hear the first part of that clue. Thanks a lot.
I didn't either, if it makes it better.
That's your fault.
Bianca is older than sapphire.
I swear that gets more and more
12.
annoying every time she sings. Bianca
And
can't be
Sapphire
12. Sapphire's not old.
When Ebenezer was 6, he was half as old as Joyce. Now he's 3/4 her age.
If you people are any good at math, that actually settles
Joyce
this completely.
is 12.
Excuse me?
He was when Ebenezer was 6, he was half of Joyce's age.
Would you
Now
like to show me where 6 is on the grid?
And now he's 3/4 of her.
Right.
Three times her. 3 times or 3/4 her age?
3/4 her age. If Ebenezer was 6 and half as old as Joyce, how old would Joyce have to be? Basically, what's twice of 6?
12. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still trying to work that one out.
No, I said Joyce is 12.
Okay. So, 12 minus 6 is...
6.
Right. And with that, there are 3 different possibilities, but now we have to think, what's a 3/4 relationship?
12 and 24? No, that's a half.
That's 1/2.
3/4, so that would be... That's 18, right?
Yeah, 18 and 24. So we could expand it this way. 3/4. If we expand that by times 3, it's 9/12. Expand that by times 2, you have 18/24.
18 and 24.
Right. So basically, find any expansion of 3/4 that would match up with any two of these numbers, which would put Ebenezer at 18, Joyce at 24, Sapphire at 12, Bianca at 30. Because of the first clue saying that Sapphire was younger than Bianca. So yeah, that's it.
You're some kind of puzzle-solving fool. I'm excited to watch you play this puzzle. Are you going to start now?
I kind of hope gender doesn't come into play because 3 out of these 4 names, I don't know what they'd be.
Helen
is female. I can confidently say that.
Kazuki? Kazuwiki.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be it.
Ingmar.
The last one is I believe is Latif.
Latif. Do you have any gender insight on these names?
Probably male.
Well,
we'll find out.
Did I already play the big brain?
No.
Okay.
Pair up the names and favorite sports of the 4 people here.
Well, mine is unquestionably soccer out of the 4. It's also the only one of the 4 that I actually play and like really was into.
I played for a little bit. I didn't really like it though.
Striking was fun, but goalkeeping was better. So, what do we have?
A racket is not used in Latif's favorite sport.
Now, obviously, I know how each of these games works. Badminton uses rackets. Cricket uses, what are they called? Mallets? Mallets. Archery obviously is bow and arrow, and soccer has balls.
Feet.
Huh? Yeah, they kick balls.
With their feet.
Yes.
The feet also have a ball.
Yeah, they do.
The favorite sport of one of the women is cricket.
One of the women. So, Helen or who?
Ingmar's favorite sport does not involve as much movement as the others.
Soccer requires a shit ton of movement. Cricket does, because you have to relocate according to the ball, kind of like golf.
Yeah.
Badminton involves running around to catch the cock and knock it around.
Archery does not.
Archery, not so much. So, soccer kicks balls and badminton knocks a cock around. This is getting interesting.
The males are Ingmar and Kazuwiki. The females are Helen and Latif.
Thank you. You've just spared us all kinds of trouble. I believe I heard that the favorite sport of one of the women is cricket.
Yes.
Which would mean that Kazuwiki would not like it.
2 of the sports do not use a ball. Kazuwiki's favorite sport does.
Well, badminton, as we've established, uses a cock rather than a ball. Which means he must like soccer. Latif likes crickets.
And Helen badminton.
And Helen likes cock. Do you like my analysis of the situation?
I'm not going to argue with it, no.
Very good.
Sometimes you just have to sit back and bask in greatness. Good job. Are you ready to shake a tail feather?
I can only imagine that Tron is laughing her ass off at work right now.
4 classmates each have a favorite game. Match the person with the game.
The thing, too, about the explanation for the puzzle is that most of them are pretty well explained by the categories. And hey, parlor games. I love parlor games.
Walter's favorite game does not involve making X's or O's.
He doesn't like tic-tac-toe.
You know, a case could also be made that he doesn't like find word. Because X's and O's are both letters in the alphabet. And find word is basically hangman. But
I would not knock that out.
yeah, because, again, 3 prior cases.
Rhonda's favorite game is played with a total of 28 pieces.
Okay, do you know this?
Checkers.
No.
No, checkers has 30 dominoes.
Checkers has 24. 12 on each of
Shut
two
up.
sides.
Shut up.
Okay, so...
I'm not very good at math if you haven't figured this out yet.
No, you were the literature musical kind. Okay, so for those of you who have never played dominoes, the standard 6-pip game has 0 through 6 running up to double sixes, which marks 7 dominoes, 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then goes down a step each time. So 6 ones totals to 13, 5 twos beyond that goes to 18, 4 threes, and then 3 fours, 2 fives, and 1 more 6. Do the math on your own time, that's 28.
Sean and Walter don't like word games.
So by different logic entirely, Walter doesn't like find word anyway.
Yep.
Which means Violet must. Oh hey, we're done.
Yep.
Walter likes checkers. Sean likes tic-tac-toe. He likes tic-tac-toe. I've got 2 really good game shows for you, buddy boy. But what are the other 2 clues?
Find the word uses pencil and paper. One player chooses a word and draws blanks for the letters. Other players try to guess the letters.
Essentially anybody who's never played Wheel of Fortune, Hangman, any game like that, what have you.
Each player has 12 pieces in the game of checkers.
And this is for those of you who don't know inherently how many pieces Dominoes uses. So you
In
could
short,
math,
the math people.
yeah, so you could math it
Or
out at that.
non-math people.
Yeah, so you could math it out at that point and say that 22 that 12 pieces times 2 players equals 24, which would not satisfy the 28. But yeah, that's just in case you don't know things about these games. But because we did, we solved it in 3. Here you go.
I knew you could finish. Well done.
It's
Are you mentally prepared to meet this challenge?
It's finished. It's finished for the requirement of the overall game, but there are more puzzles past that. So we're not actually done with Novice yet. We haven't gotten back to the first.
Before we go on,
Mhm.
because I know you're going to make a reference to this,
Mhm.
is it loafers? They're all types of shoes.
Yeah.
Thongs are sandals. Flip-flops.
I think the entire world knew that, Chibi.
No, I didn't know that until 7th grade. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you're clearly trying to get me to make some kind of terrible joke involving women's underwear.
You would have anyway. That's the reason why I
I'll
wanted
have you know that I keep my show pure and clean, and I would never disgrace this
Lies,
show by doing such a
lies.
thing. That was really bad, and you should feel bad.
I should feel bad.
Yes, you should feel bad. You called me out before I even had a chance to make it. How do you know I was actually gonna?
Alpha, you've done it all throughout the show already.
Okay, fine. Guitars have G strings. You happy now?
Well, yeah, they're a string instrument, so I would hope they would have a G string.
Let's do this.
Andrea, Brent, Carl, and Deidre each bought a pair of shoes. Identify the shoes purchased by each person.
Oh, is that why the one category has all to do with shoes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Deidre's shoes are open.
Considering what you just mentioned about thongs,
Yep.
which are a pretty open form of underwear, if you ask me, Deidre must wear them.
Andrea's shoes are not suitable for volleyball practice in the school gym.
So she wouldn't wear sneakers.
Are not suitable for volleyball practice.
Yeah, which means she would not wear sneakers because sneakers are suitable for volleyball practice.
Andrea's shoes are not suitable for volleyball practice in the school gym.
If I'm practicing anything in the school gym,
yeah.
then again, that's my normal shoe anyway, so.
I don't know how Oxfords would fit on that, so.
I don't either, so I'm going to wait
We'll leave it open.
I'm going to wait for the last clue.
Red shoes are not meant to be laced.
Brent's shoes are not meant to be laced.
Brent's wearing loafers,
Yep, that much I remember.
which means she's wearing Andrea's wearing Oxfords.
And
Like I said, I
Carl-
wasn't sure how that would work out.
Yeah, me either. Shoes aren't my category of trivial strength.
That was genius. This problem is no problem.
But those of you paying attention to the scientific notation score up here will notice that it stopped going up after the puzzle before this. That's because you can't score anymore once you finish filling the dome. But again, because there are new puzzles to do, that's why we're here, so we're doing them.
The Midtown
I'm gonna make a
High
guess.
School marching
Oh, never mind.
band needed new uniforms. Pair each band member's name with her or his suggestion of how to raise money.
Sorry about that. What was on your mind?
I'm gonna guess that Bonita did not suggest bottles, Carrie did not suggest candy, and Devlin did not suggest donations, and Adrian did not suggest newspapers.
Are you going for the alliteration thing?
Yep,
Because it only works for 3/4 of the suggestions.
that's okay.
Again, we're not going to blank that out until...
No, this is just me generally stating. That's
But-
what I think.
But did you hear the puzzle description?
I know,
Marching
his are-
band.
I know.
Now we're hitting a little close to home for us. All right, so let's help these kids out. It's a good cause.
Bonita said she thought anyone who gave the band money should get something worthwhile in return.
Anyone who gave the band
Give the
money
band
should
money.
get something worthwhile in return, so she would not have been on board with donations. Why do I feel like the bottles would be more of a recycling program?
Well,
And the
hold on.
newspapers, too.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Well, we know that donations...
It's what they suggested,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we know that donations are a one-sided deal. Whoever gives the money doesn't actually get anything, so we know Bonita wouldn't have done that.
Okay.
I don't know enough about the others to say for sure, so we'll move on.
One band member said the boy's suggestions were okay, but she was against selling candy. She said the band should just ask for outright donations.
Okay.
One band member said the boys' suggestions were okay, which I would assume by the spelling of Adrian that that's a boy, and that Devlin is a boy. Bonita and Carrie are conclusively women.
Carrie suggested donations. Bonita suggested candy.
Yeah, the boys' suggestions were okay. She was against selling candy. So it couldn't have been a boy that suggested candy either. Are we going to get our little stripe or are we going to get a diamond? What's your prediction?
Diamond.
You say diamond? Alright, well let's see what the other two clues are.
Someone said it would be worthwhile to collect old newspapers for recycling. Someone else said the band members should sell candy.
Alright, so the newspapers we just found out are indeed a recycling program, which was kind of what I thought. And I feel like the bottles would be the same thing. I'm sure this will clear that up.
Yep.
Adrian
Sushi,
said
that's
bottles
my
collected
foot.
for return of their deposits would be too bulky, that the collectors would have to unload too often.
So Adrian doesn't like bottles, and that's essentially the idea. So as it happens, the diamond is what comes through.
Wait.
Devlin likes the bottles, Adrian likes the newspapers.
You are some kind of puzzle-solving fool. Are you mentally prepared to
Sushi,
meet this
leave him
challenge?
Kitty trouble?
Yeah.
Mm,
Right
fun.
underneath my feet, too.
Oh, fun. Alright.
Show which career each 5th grader wants to follow.
Aw, career day.
Oh boy.
And again, more names whose genders I cannot narrow
Hiroshi
down.
is a boy.
Hiroshi's a boy?
Yep. Rajiv is a boy.
Yeah.
Chung Sung is probably a girl.
Okay.
Hiroshi says he doesn't want to be a test pilot or a firefighter.
Yep, so Hiroshi is conclusively guy. And doesn't want either of those careers.
Okay.
Deborah says she is gonna marry the future test pilot, whether he likes it or not.
Alright, so first of all, Deborah cannot be a test pilot. And she mentioned that
She's
whether
going to marry.
he likes it or not, and I realize this is before that time in our history. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Chung Sen, if she is indeed a girl, cannot be a test pilot. So going under your contingency, we'll say that Rahiv is the test pilot.
Chung San says she doesn't want to be a firefighter or a baseball player.
And it seems you were correct on all fronts. Well done.
She's an she wants to be an astronaut.
She wants to be an astronaut. Hiroshi wants to be the sports guy, and Deborah wants to play with Rahiv's hose.
Oh boy.
Oh, go ahead and pinch me. I'm in the presence of greatness. Are you ready to chart some new territory?
Did he just change voice?
I don't think
Or
so.
accent?
He might have changed accents. It was the same voice.
Okay.
What do we got here?
The grandparents of the Emerson children intend to celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary by going away for some kind of vacation. Pair each child's name with his or her suggestion.
That's pretty cool.
At least 2 of those suggestions were tours, yeah.
At least 2 of the suggestions were tours.
New Zealand and US West.
Would make the most sense, but I don't want to start popping things off yet.
Mm-hmm.
The crew suggested was for relaxation rather than sightseeing.
Ha!
Huh?
Ha!
What say you?
The crew suggestion was done for relaxation, not as sightseeing.
Okay, so we've determined that the cruise was not a tour.
Yep.
Alright. But again, at least 2. So the beach resort, while I'm inclined to believe not, could still be.
Mm-hmm.
Letitia said she thought the noise and bustle of a beach resort wouldn't appeal to the grandparents. She didn't like the idea of a cruise either.
Okay.
Pretty straight.
One of the 2 girls suggested a beach resort.
Well, I'm going to assume
of
that
the-
Kelsey is of
is a
the
boy.
is of the grammar variety. If y'all know what I mean, all you Frasier fans out there.
Ha!
Aha!
I get it.
Ah, okay. So if Letitia didn't like, what was it, the cruise or the beach resort?
The beach resort.
Okay.
Letitia
So Joan-
said she thought the noise and bustle
Oh, it
of a
was
beach
One
this
of the
crew.
2 girls suggested a beach resort.
Okay. So that had to be Joan.
Kelsey favored a tour, but nothing south of the equator.
And we know the cruise
Ah!
wasn't a tour, so it was just the two. Again, well done. So, nothing south of the equator, so no New Zealand, meaning the U.S. West tour. Letitia would have had to have liked the New Zealand tour, and Martin, the Good Ship Misery.
You are some kind of puzzle-solving fool. Let's conquer this conundrum.
Oh, that's gotta hurt your alliterative hunting brain.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Wow, really?
Well, that didn't work, did it?
Nope.
4 people are bridge partners to 4 others. Identify each pair.
Bridge. That game is tough, but it's fun.
My grandmother used to play bridge. I don't know if she plays it anymore.
Darwin doesn't.
What was it?
My grandmother used to play bridge. I don't know if she still plays it though.
Have you ever played?
Maybe once or twice.
Floyd plays north-south. Darwin doesn't.
Alright, so does north-south mean anything to you?
Yeah, those are positions.
Yeah, positions, partnerships. North-south is a team, east-west is a team. So, yeah. Floyd plays...
so
Yeah, go ahead.
no, Floyd plays what?
Floyd plays...
Floyd plays north-south. Darwin doesn't.
Okay.
Right, so Floyd and Darwin cannot be partners. Because Darwin's in east-west... yeah, Darwin...
Yep.
Darwin.
Darwin.
Fucking god damn it. One more for the outtakes. Okay. Darwin must be an east-wester.
Sushi!
Carlos plays east-west. Hazel
Go!
doesn't.
Go!
Are you good?
Yeah. Who
Right.
plays east-west?
Carlos plays east-west. Hazel does not.
Okay.
Each pair of partners always plays as either east-west or north-south.
So there's your token game explanation for those of you who don't understand enough about bridge.
Bridget is not the partner of Floyd, nor is Carlos the partner of Greta.
Bridget is not the partner of Floyd, nor is Carlos the partner of Greta.
Okay.
Floyd plays north-south. Carlos plays east-west,
Yep.
as established by 2 different clues. Meaning Edgar and Carlos must be partners. Floyd and Bridget, or Floyd and Ada, I'm sorry, must be partners.
I was gonna say Bridget plays an east-west, so.
Yep. Yep. Hazel.
So who do we have?
Hazel plays north-south. Darwin
Yep.
plays east-west.
Correct.
So Darwin and Greta. Bridget and Hazel.
Sometimes you just have to sit back and bask in greatness. Good job. I'm checking my mental map, and it looks like this
Here
is
we
the
go
place
again.
to begin.
Yeah, they flipped the letter arrangements this time, but yeah, same deal.
4
And
men
he said something
and
about
their
this being
4
the last?
sisters are on the same neighborhood volleyball team. Match up each pair.
What did you say?
He said something about this being the start, or?
That he just has this revolving door of lines when you're first starting a new puzzle.
Oh, okay. It's just one of those. Got it.
Yeah. So we have to pair up the brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And this time we don't have the alliteration to help us.
Everett is younger than his sister and older than Dorcas.
So we now have to consider relative ages.
Who was that? Flynn? Or?
Everett is younger
Everett.
than his sister and older than Dorcas.
Everett and Dorcas are not siblings.
Yeah, that's the most basic thing we've established. So if we can somehow make determination about the women's relative ages to Everett, it'll help us out.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica. You're taking notes of this stuff, right? Because I think we're going to need them.
Okay, hold on. So Everett is older,
Everett is younger than his sister.
younger. And then that
Godf-
last.
Yeah, and then Godfrey is older than his sister. Nothing we can really knock out yet.
Okay.
Brittany is older than Godfrey.
Brittany is older than Godfrey. And Godfrey
Brittany
is
and-
older than his sister, which means
Yeah.
that's a mismatch.
Yep.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
But Brittany's brother could be Godfrey, right?
Wait a sec.
Oh,
Let me
no.
hear that one more time, because I think that gives us Brittany and Henry as a pair. Or Henri, however that's pronounced.
Henry.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
Everett is
Because
older.
Everett has to be. Everett is younger than his sister.
Everett's older than Dorcas. And
Dorcas is older than Brittany.
And Dorcas
whose
is older
brother
than
isn't
Brittany.
Flynn.
Okay. So, yep, that's Henry then.
yep, Brittany and Henry.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Brittany is older than Godfrey.
What am I missing?
Everett is younger than his sister and older than Dorcas.
He's older than Dorcas, so Annette is the only one we don't know the age of, and he's probably paired with Annette.
You think so?
Which means Chica and Flynn. Yeah, and then Godfrey and Dorcas.
If you're right about this, I'll dissect it later.
When they were handing out brains, you must have
We are
thought
not.
they said trains and you asked for a boxcar.
Damn,
Ouch.
that was bad.
All right.
Okay,
let's
reset.
let's dissect this again. Okay, from the top.
Everett is younger than his sister and older than Dorcas.
So Everett, less than sister.
Yeah. And then older than Dorcas. Got it.
Yep. Okay. So Everett and Dorcas are obviously a mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Godfrey, older sister, or greater than, or however you want to notate
Yep,
that.
I have it as greater than.
Yeah,
Greater
okay.
than.
Brittany
is not.
older than Godfrey.
Brittany is older than Godfrey. Wait.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Brittany is older than Godfrey.
All
Brittany
right.
and Godfrey.
No.
Oh, right, that was.
Brittany goes on the other side of the Godfrey equation.
Yep.
Brittany is older than Godfrey.
Yeah, Godfrey less than Brittany.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Yep.
Yeah, Brittany is older than Godfrey, which means that she can be his sister.
But Godfrey is older
Or-
than his sister. So
Sorry.
what we're saying is
Yeah.
Yep, sister less than Godfrey less than Brittany.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Yep.
So we just have to find some way to connect those relationships.
Brittany is older than Godfrey.
Brittany greater than Godfrey. Yeah, so we got that.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
Dorcas greater Brittany.
Uh-huh.
Dorcas is older than Brittany, whose brother isn't Flynn.
Okay, so right. Think. I think maybe I ought to take my own advice and write these guys down. All right. So what relationships do we have here as far as age? Yeah. What do your notes have?
Well, if I'm reading my notes right, do you want youngest to oldest?
Yeah, would probably be beneficial.
I have a sister, Godfrey,
Sister,
Brittany,
sister less than Godfrey, less than Brittany,
less than Dorcas,
less than Dorcas,
less than Everett,
less than Everett,
less than another sister.
less than sister.
Dorcas and Brittany, so it's Annette and Chica. Chica cannot be paired with Godfrey, which means that she has to be, Annette has to be.
Is younger than his sister and older than Dorcas.
Godfrey is older than his sister, who is not Chica.
Godfrey and Annette.
Yep.
And then Everett and Chica. Henry and Brittany. Dorcas and Flynn.
That should be right.
All right. So let me plant something here. All right, so we've determined that the younger sister is Annette, and that the older sister is Chica.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold on to this relationship on my document and use that when explaining this through, because I think that's the only way it's going to make sense.
Ooh, I'm getting all
That's
tingly watching you solve these puzzles. I'm excited to watch you play this puzzle. Are you going to start now?
I've honestly lost count. I'll get a track of how many when I do the document.
Paul is the best mail carrier in the city of Midtown. One day, 4 people on his route asked him different questions, and he knew all the answers. Determine the questions each person asked.
Okay.
So the questions must have pertained to these 4 things here. So let's see.
The cost of mailing a 3-ounce letter was asked before at least 2 of the other questions.
And again, the grid does not outright consider timeline.
3 question right now.
The cost of mailing a 3-ounce letter was asked before at least 2 of the other questions.
I wouldn't make that 3rd question mark just yet.
I know, or it's question mark 3 question mark.
Yeah.
I have my notes. Whether I can read them or not, that's another story.
Special delivery letter after the Ebbinghaus, but before the Graylinghouse.
What was that again?
Paul was asked the cost of a special delivery letter after the Ebbinghaus, but before the Graylinghouse.
Alright, so in continuing to establish timeline, special delivery, okay, Ebbing, less than special delivery, less than Grayling.
Okay.
Horner did not ask the last question.
Horner didn't ask the last question, so he also could not have asked the special delivery question or the 3-ounce question.
Yep.
Which means Fredder must have asked special delivery.
Someone, not Ebbing, said he wanted to mail a book to a friend. He asked if the first class rate had to be paid. This was not the first or the last of the 4 questions asked.
So the book was somewhere in the middle two questions, and Ebbing didn't ask it.
Grayling did not ask the cost of sending a letter by registered mail.
Okay. Horner asked about the book, I think. Or no, or it still could be Grayling, sorry.
All right. So what timeline notes do we have right now?
The 3-ounce question had to be first or second.
Right, the 3-ounce. Okay, so 3 less than question, less than question. And I'm going to put in parentheses then less than question. Just for sake of that right now. What else?
So it's the order of questions, if I have this right, is 3B question mark or question mark 3B question mark.
Yeah, because the book was not the first or the last question.
Correct.
So if 3 was the second question, the book would have to be
the third, so
Wait.
not the last.
Wait,
Did I mess up?
Horner did not ask the last question.
So Horner could not have done the book. There we go. Sorry, Horner could have done the book. Could not have.
Wait.
Horner did not ask the last question.
Someone, not Ebbing, said he wanted to mail a book to a friend. He asked if the first class rate had to be paid. This was not the first or the last of the 4 questions asked.
Horner did not ask the last question. The book was not the last question. But we don't know anything about the timeline of the registered mail.
So go through them again?
Yeah.
The cost of mailing a 3-ounce letter was asked before at least 2 of the other questions.
So the 3-ouncer was one of the first 2.
Yep, which is what I have.
Paul was asked the cost of a special delivery letter after the Ebbing house, but before the Grayling house.
So
After Ebbing.
Okay, so let me mark this. So there's a relationship that says Ebbing less than special delivery less than Grayling. And either of those two could have asked the 3-ounce question. Wait a second, hang on. So no matter where the 4th question in this lineup is, Ebbing's question would have had to be one of the first 2, right? Because if the missing question goes before Ebbing, Ebbing was the second question. If it goes after Grayling, Ebbing was the first question.
Yep.
So in both cases, he could have asked the 3-ouncer. Grayling, on the other hand, is at least 3rd in the pecking order, if not 4th, which means he could not have asked the 3-ounce question. So Horner asked registered mail.
Yeah, I was gonna say Horner had to have done registered mail.
Does the rest of what I just said make sense to you?
I think so. I'm still trying. I have a little grid here, and I'm taking my own notes.
Yeah, Grayling had to have asked one of the last 2 questions, and 3 ounces was one of the first 2. We established that much. So by that proxy, Grayling couldn't have asked 3 ounces. So I think this is it.
Oh no! Are you upset? Do you want to talk about it?
No, not really. Let's try that again. Damn it.
Horner did not ask the last, correct.
Alright, let's...
Ebbing had to ask before Grayling, but did not do the standard, which means...
Alright. A truth table might come in a little more handy here, but...
The cost of mailing a 3-ounce letter was asked before at least 2 of the other questions.
3 ounce, first 2.
Paul was asked the cost of a special delivery letter after the Ebbinghaus, but before the Grayling House.
Alright, so Ebbing, less than special, less than Grayling. We know that much. Alright, so by that proxy, we know Grayling didn't ask 3 ounce. That much is correct. Ebbing could have asked the 3 ounce.
Horner did not ask the last question.
Okay.
Horner, first 3. Horner could have asked the special delivery question. In either special being the second or the third question.
Yep.
So, yeah, alright.
Someone, not Ebbing, said he wanted to mail a book to a friend. He asked if the first class rate had to be paid. This was not the first or the last of the 4 questions asked.
So we know that Ebbing didn't ask about the book. And question less than book, less than question. Or I'll just say book, second or third.
Mm-hmm.
Grayling did not ask the cost of sending a letter by registered mail.
Okay, let's Sherlock this thing if we can. So. Oh, so special delivery couldn't have been Grayling or Ebbing because that was mentioned in an in-between relationship. Grayling was specifically said to have not asked registered mail.
Yeah.
So Grayling had to have had the book. Where else did we go wrong here?
So if the book is there,
So the book would have come after the special delivery question.
after the special delivery?
Yes. So
Okay, so it's in order, if I have this right. I might have messed up the process of elimination. The first question was the special delivery.
All right.
Second question was the 3 ounce.
Okay.
Third question was the book.
Wait.
La
Did you just say the first question was the special delivery?
Yeah,
Impossible. It came after Ebbing.
came after. Okay, so I have this reverse. So it's registered. So it's R3B SD.
So registered was first, then 3 ounces, then book, then special delivery.
Yeah.
Also
So
impossible
G-
because special came before Grayling. Special delivery has to be first or second or third. I'm sorry.
Second or third, then it has to be third. So sorry.
Book you said was what?
I know. I have 2 different forms here. I have a 3B question mark, and then question mark 3B question mark. So it's 3B SDR.
Wait, hold on. I just figured something. Okay, so because of how the special delivery was presented as after Ebbing but before Grayling, it has to be one of the middle 2, right?
Yeah,
So
that's what I said. So it's
and
3 ounces, then the book, then the special delivery, then the registered.
So the book was second. The special delivery was third. Grayling would have had to fucking special.
Wait, what?
Hold on a minute.
That makes no sense.
Run that by me one more time.
Well, because now I'm looking and the special delivery came between the Greylings and the whatever. But if they went second, then that's impossible for...
No, it isn't. Grayling, the book question could have been third. It was said that could not be first or last. which means that essentially special delivery and book were presented the same way and must in some order be second or third.
So it's 3.
So special would have to be second. Grayling would have to be third, because Grayling was after special and he asked for the book.
Yeah, so E.
Ebbing must have asked the first question,
H
which
cannot
would have
be
been 3
4.
ounces.
So 3 ounces Ebbing. Special delivery is Horner. The
Yes.
book is Grayling, and then the registered is Fredder.
I think that makes more sense.
Sometimes you just have
We got
to
it.
sit back and bask in greatness. Good job.
I just had to figure out the order of
I'm
the
excited
deliveries,
to
and
watch
then
you play this
putting
puzzle.
the
Are you going to
last
start
names
now?
was easy.
Now remember, we had 4 puzzles on a previous video. This is the first of those, so we have just cleared the novice puzzles.
Damn, that was it.
Those last 2 were doozies. Holy shit. Ugh. Oh, my head. My motherfucking head. Oh, and just to give you folks a preview for what else is to come with these, take a look at expert level.
Expert level.
That is a
I
level.
hate these ones.
That is a level 2 grid. What did you say?
I hate these ones.
Oh, well then you'll supremely hate these.
Genius
Triple.
level.
Quadruple.
Oh.
Well, we're obviously going to stop here for tonight's show, but do you want to be part of the
Expert level.
next generation of these?
Sure.
You do want to carry on with these?
Yeah, it'll just make me aggravated half the time, but...
Alright, this is where writing notes is going to become that much more pivotal, especially when you got to start really tying different relationships together.
Be up front, I will not do the quadruple or expert level.
You're not doing genius?
Nope.
Okay.
No, that's
That's too much?
yeah.
Alright. Well, unless anybody watching wants to step up for that stage of the game, I will probably just tackle that by myself some other time. But before then, we will get to expert, and that'll be some other night on the Alpha stream. So let's sound the klaxon. And say goodnight. This has been Alpha.
Now, Jimmy.
And until Thursday night, when the anniversary show for the Alpha stream hits, have an Alpha night.
Bye.